Now it's time to get all caught up on today's movie news.
What?
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 What? All right, you guys, it is time to go over and take a little bit of movie news. And our first little bit of movie news comes to us from Deadline, one of my favorite trades. Here's the thing, you guys. If you're not familiar with like the major trades, sometimes people go off and they see this news article and like Bob's Junket Movie Press Guide, or I don't know, whatever, something like that. And they take like fabrications and they, twist like real actual bits of news. So if you want to get like legit movie news, go to Deadline, go to Variety, go to Rolling Stone, go to The Hollywood Reporter, even go to Collider. That's where you're gonna go. That's where you're gonna find the majority of your like factual movie news, stuff that isn't taken out of context, things that aren't like rumor mills or whatever. Just stick to the major trade, you guys. And in this major trade, Deadline is reporting that as of tomorrow, German Chancellor Angela Merkel will be reclosing all of the movie theaters across Germany. And as a result, just like, the domino effect, France is pretty much following suit. France is gonna make their official announcement about it later tonight. And being that it's 4:00 in the afternoon East Coast, that's 9:00 in France right now. So 9? No, it's 10. It's 10 o'clock in France right now. So maybe they've already made their decision, but it sounds like France is gonna shut down their theaters as well. You guys, I think this has some major implications. Not just implications, but this is going to affect the industry on a massive level. Germany was one of the first countries to kind of, after they got their version of the pandemic under control a little bit, Angela Merkel opened things up again, so that, the Germans and, help the rest of Europe kind of follow suit. Once you put your safety protocols in place, right? And get everybody to kind of follow a general sort of, loose guidelines to say, like, follow these guidelines. Wear your mask. I've been saying this forever. Repeat it with me. Wear your mask, wash your hands, social distance. If you can't... Sorry, what was that, Daniel? Are you gonna say this with me? Here we go.
Sure.
Wear your mask. Wash your hands. Social distance. If you can't social distance, wear your mask. Wash your hands. If you can't wash your hands, wear your mask.
I will just say, if you can't wash your hands, you should try and find a sink somewhere, some sort of, just any sink. You need those hands washed. Or come find me. I'll give you some hand sanitizer.
That's so true. Well, I have like a little spray bottle that I just fill up with alcohol. It's like one of those handheld, like just put it in your pocket. I pull it out. I open the door for somebody. I open the door for myself. Spray. I use the ATM after I'm finished. Spray. Go to the supermarket. I swipe my debit card. Spray. It's a simple thing, but getting back to the whole Germany thing, Angela Merkel is closing. She feels that it's necessary to close down all of the movie theaters again. And here's the thing, Daniel. Worldwide, to date, worldwide, not a single case of COVID-19 or coronavirus has been traced back. Nothing has ever been contact traced back to a movie theater. So this is, granted, a lot of the movie theaters were closed in the beginning of the pandemic. So statistically, nothing's going to be traced back to a movie theater. But even though things have been open, and I guess arguably things are worse now than they were in the beginning, as movie theaters have been open still, with 25% capacity pretty much across the board, there has not been a single case of coronavirus traced back to being contact traced inside of a movie theater. So let me pass the question to you. Do you think Angela Merkel is overreacting a little bit, or do you think she's genuinely acting within the best interest of the people of Germany? Thoughts?
It's a big question.
It's a huge question.
I will say, I was sort of like making a joke before. I'm an expert because I watch these things, but I really do love going to the movies. And it's something that like we talk about in our house a lot nowadays. Like, wouldn't it be so nice to go to a movie right now? But but I think even you know, I did not know that there had been no cases contact traced back to movie theaters. But with cases being on the up and up right now, sort of across the board, as much as I do love going to the movies, and I would wish that we could go. I think if you're a world leader, you have a lot of responsibility to like do everything you can that is in your power to make things as safe as possible for the tons of people that are responsible for essentially. And so, I think she's making the right call. I think it's probably what I would do as well if I happen to be a president or prime minister or chancellor, and someone was like, "Do you think that we should have this thing open where people go to sit in an enclosed space for 2.5 hours at a time, 3 hours for something epic, 90 minutes for something less epic?" I think I would do it, even if
Well, if it's an Avengers Endgame, okay, we'll go ahead and
yeah.
open. But yeah,
Yeah.
if we're talking about the Invisible Man, maybe we'll just kind of like
Keep it closed. Yeah, for movies, I love open it up. But yeah, I do think it's the right call. I think being cautious is right now, and there's watching Netflix or watching stuff on your laptop. It does not compare
It doesn't. No.
to going to a movie, but I think like it's a sacrifice that has to be made, and I'm an actor. The less movies that are getting made, the less auditions Daniel gets to go to.
Yeah.
And so it's like not in my personal interest, but I do think it's the right call.
That's a hard thing to judge as well, because when you look at the bigger picture too, if there are reasonably, because I feel like I fall on the other side of the coin maybe just a little bit. If there are reasonable practices that you can put in there, can we keep people safe on a reasonable level and still keep some of these more industry type things going? Real quick, Daniel, do you mind turning your volume down just a little bit? I can hear myself back on reverb. Don't go too. Oh, whatever you did worked fine.
Okay,
Yeah,
Jill.
yeah, whatever you did is great. Thank you. But yeah, I mean, there's the implications and there's the effect of what this is going to do for the industry as well. If Germany closes down all their movie theaters and then France follows suit and they close down their movie theaters, it's probably not long before the Great Britain is going to close down the movie theaters, and Spain, and Italy again, and then pretty much before you know it, all of Europe has been shut down in terms of movie theaters. And this is an industry. This is not just, hey guys, let's go watch a movie. It's not just the denying of people an ability to go see a movie. It's denying an entire industry, a global industry, the ability to keep jobs intact. And you and I we're storytellers. This is something that we love, as you said. Like, the less movies are being made, the less auditions you get to go on, right? Well, that's true. I don't know, like, where's it's a hard, it's a hard thing. Where's the line? Because we're not just talking about, oh, Mike and Dan didn't get to go on audition today.
It's way bigger.
It's way bigger. We're talking about billions and billions of dollars. Last year alone, Disney raked in their biggest. They had their best year of all time. They raked in $11 billion at the box office. 11. That was unheard of. That will probably, in the next 20 years, never happen again. Very well, I mean, depending on how streaming goes, that may never happen again, period. Avengers Endgame made the largest sum of money that any movie has ever made, which was $1.78 billion for one movie. $1.78 billion. It's very possible, depending on how streaming goes, depending on how COVID changes our viewing habits, that may never be broken. That record may never be broken in the history of film and television ever again. So, I mean, it's if we close the movie theaters, I mean, are movie theaters in the United States going to close? I don't know. Like, what? How do you see the future of this playing out?
You know, I've never thought about this in this way before, but I hope this doesn't happen, but it sort of feels reminiscent of like when music went from physical sales to really uh, relying on streaming, uh, and it like changed the game for music. Like album sales from like 2000,
Yeah,
pop stars will never be
yeah.
matched by what pop stars are selling today. And I hope that that doesn't become the case. Um, I do think that the act of like making and going to see movies, I hope that it is so sort of embedded in our societal framework that will that it will reemerge as a healthy industry. And I'm happy to be optimistic about this. And so I think that it will bounce back and really do a lot of funds into it, do profit from it, will want to profit from it in that big way still. So I hope that this is just only for now. Um, yeah, and that we will find ourselves in theaters.
Well, Daniel, I tend to agree with you. Is there? And we are, as the human race, we are a resilient bunch, and we are the kind of people that will want to go back and not just go back to the theater, but we are communal creatures. We are the type of people or the type of animals that need social interaction to function and to exist and to survive. And without that social function, everything kind of falls apart. So, yeah, to your point, I wholeheartedly believe that we will return to the movie theaters. There's just no replacing the theatrical experience, and maybe that may, sadly, and I hate to admit this, but there's a very real possibility that the movie theater going experience that we currently know may completely collapse and we'll have to rebuild it from scratch. That may happen. I hope it doesn't happen, but it may happen. Anyway, question is for you guys: what do you think the implications of Germany and German Chancellor Angela Merkel shutting down movie theaters across Germany tomorrow? What impact do you think that is going to have on the industry? Do you think it's going to hurt it immensely, or do you think it's just kind of going to be like a little bump on the road and we'll eventually move past it and move back to go back to movie watching on the big screen? Jump on down to the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you like this video, click like. If you really like this video, click subscribe. And if you really like this video, click share, because that is exactly what Michelangelo from the Ninja Turtles would want you to do. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.